I'm Dr. Sampath Kumar, joined in academics, assessment and awards. So I think from morning you must have been listening regarding OBE and all. And afternoon session, PM sir has clearly told about how NEP and complaint R22 we are getting. But before my colleagues talk more about R22 and how it is in compliance with NEP, I just want to act like a Ramasetu for the topic. So I'm taking topic like significance of assessment tools which are proposed in R22 and how they are actually helping in mapping program outcomes through COs. Basically, OBE means everything they speak about program outcomes. So I think you are all aware because of either going for MBA or your previous attending any talks, you must have been understood how exactly this OBE runs. Right? In generalize, every institute will have a vision, and to achieve that vision, they will be having a mission. So that mission and vision cannot be as a separate entity. They cannot go in a different direction. All their activities should be in line for their mission and vision. So for which they will be choosing lots of programs, and these programs will have program educational objectives (PEOs). And for these PEOs, here where the program actually comes into the picture. So before I start actual topic, I would like to ask you guys, what are program outcomes? How many number it is? 12. I think some of you must be traveling with program outcomes starting from graduate attributes 10 to POs 12. I'm definitely sure you must be having a lot of knowledge, but let me check, let me refresh your memory. What is the first PO? Knowledge, right? Very good. Second, problem analysis. Sure. Anyway, show the slide. If you are not doing the same number also no problem, but at least there is problem analysis. Third, critical. Modern tools. Okay, modern tools is one PO. Is it 5? PO 5, right? Okay. Remaining POs, any guess? Lifelong learning. One PO. Very good. Excellent. Communication. This is another one. Good. Next. Ethics. Very good. Team spirit. Good. Environment conscious. Very good. One more. Management. Okay. Project management and finances. Very good. Teamwork. Okay. Ethics. Okay. I think mostly we have covered. Because even I don't remember them in one line. And even NEP says so, now we need not have any right memory. Right? So basically in our subconscious we should be clear like what happened. Right? But why these 12 POs? Should everybody follow these 12 POs? Or only Vignan? Everyone. Everyone means everyone in Andhra or everyone in India? Only everyone in India. Enough. Program outcomes are common all over the world. Actually, they are meant for making all the graduate students, bringing them into a common platform. Because in US, they might be having a different style. In Europe, they might be having a different style. Every country has their own style. Similarly, India has its own style. But can we compare all the students in a same level? Is it possible? So there is a lot of debate, and everybody said their own system is good. And they said other systems are bad, obviously. So to make sure, at least to stop this debate and fight, all these people sat together in Washington Accord. They have proposed these 12 POs. In whatever way, at least your program is in line with these POs, we can consider they are all equal. So that is how this whole story has started. Right? So every UG engineering program, if they are in compliance with the 12 POs, good. We can consider at least they are equal. But in the mapping, they might be different. Some might be strongly mapped, some might be moderately mapped, some might be weakly mapped. A lot of difference might be there. But at least they are mapping or not. So, how can we map these POs? How is it possible? We can map those POs with COs. Because in each course, there must be around 30-40 courses. So if somebody, when we say somebody has BTech graduate, when he completes all the courses. Similarly, when we can say somebody has fulfilled all the POs only by fulfilling the course outcomes of individual course. So POs, COs, very good. Now we have a structure. But whether student is actually achieving it or not, attaining or not. How do you say? From the beginning of OBE, or you take any MBA related information, any MBA related video, all they speak is about quality. Quality. How are we implementing quality? How are we making sure quality is maintained? But how do you measure that quality? Again through quantity. So all these qualitative parameters, they'll be quantifying using a lot of processes. So in that process, you must be using a lot of your syllabus, teaching methods, all these are there. But whether student has achieved it or not, you have proposed a course structure, you have prepared a lesson plan, and using your lesson plan, you are delivering. Whether student is in position to understand it or not, whether he is acquiring the necessary knowledge, skill, all these things we can confirm only through assessment. So whatever regulation, whether it is R22, R19 or some other regulation, anywhere you have, out of all complex relationship that is available or that is going through in any institution, whether you see in the point of student or whether you see in the point of faculty, there are so many stages involved. When you start assessing a candidate from the day of his joining to the day of his graduation. So to make sure whether it is happening properly or not, we can mainly focus on these 3 points. One is the program outcome, which will be only confirming him after completion of whatever course of study. If it is BTech 4 years, if it is MTech 2 years, for every program there are program outcomes. So which can be confirmed only in the end. But continuous assessment, that is what we speak. So this continuous assessment for program outcomes, if you talk, because directly program outcomes nobody can measure. We are not doing any direct measurement or direct assessment for program outcomes. It is only indirect assessment. And how are we doing that? How are we achieving it? We are achieving it through course outcomes. So these are all assessment. Without assessment, you cannot say whether he is qualified or not. Without assessment, you cannot say whether he has achieved all the program outcomes or not. So this assessment, directly program outcome, you cannot do. So you are taking the help of course outcomes, right? See, actually there is a lot of ways how we write course outcomes, right? There are a lot of shortcuts also. Earlier, for example, when we had 5-unit system, we used to write 5 COs. If it is also integrated with lab, we used to write 1 more CO. So total 6 COs. If there is no lab, based on that we used to reduce. But actual point of, if you see the actual procedure, how to write COs means, it is not after seeing the syllabus. You have to frame your syllabus based on your course outcomes. Because program outcomes are already available. Vision of the institute is already available. Mission of the institute is already available. Based on this, every program has its own PEOs. So to achieve that, first we have to write our COs. Then based on that COs, you have to prepare your syllabus content. Okay, I am not going into that part because we have a lot of other speakers who will be discussing actual procedure and all. So my point here is, COs play a crucial role, irrespective of regulation, irrespective of program. To achieve them, maximum effort, main thing that plays a key role is COs, because these are the one which we are directly assessing. Direct course can be assessed based on the COs. By mapping the COs only, we are telling, okay, PO is also achieved, right? So these 3 are my key aspects of my lecture today: program outcomes, course outcomes, and assessment. When I talk about assessment, I link it to R22. Because earlier regulations, how much they have supported in attaining our POs, we are all aware. I think when people went for MBA, they have to do a lot of exercise, they have to do a lot of changes to make sure number of POs are attained, number of PO values are maintained. Like this, we have done a lot of exercises. But knowingly or unknowingly, R22 regulation of our BTech has addressed many of the issues wherein majority of the POs are attained. So when I talk about assessment, I will tell you about R22 and mostly focus is on connecting these 3. So these are the key points. So program outcomes, revised Bloom's taxonomy, course outcomes, and assessment. So this is what we are going to see today. So already you guys have told what are the POs. So the first one is engineering knowledge. So the question is, let's imagine there are 40 courses in a BTech program. Okay, can this PO attain using all your COs, using all your courses? Can we attain this PO? Is it possible? PO1? Definitely. So by the end of 4 years of program, can you show 100% of PO1? It is possible because we do it based on number of courses only. If all courses are supporting your PO, it is 100% attained. So undoubtedly you all can say PO1, engineering knowledge can be attained. Am I sure? Do you agree? Snacks are also coming here. Please, little energy. Okay, after lunch between snacks, right? PO1 can be definitely attained. Good. PO2, problem analysis. 100%. 80%. Being engineering program, definitely, mostly there will be one place or other place that requires problem analysis aspect is also required. So not like PO1, but definitely more than 80%, it can be attained. Based on any regulation, based on any course, based on any program you take, undoubtedly. Then comes design or development of solutions. See, ability of plan is required, analysis is required, design and implementation is also required. Can all our courses support this PO? Yes. Sure. One example, sir. Applied engineering, sir. No, only one PO, sir. Design or development of solution. Whether PO3 can be achieved with all courses or not. Yes. Example, you tell me. You take any one course of yours. Very good. Good. Right. So, first word what he used for achieving the PO? Project. If any project-oriented course is there, where execution requires all this aspect, definitely involvement of design is also there and development of solution is there. But are we sure 100% all courses requires project? Lab courses to some extent, but design and implementation part definitely student has to do. Design and remaining parts mostly we are providing through our lab manual. Right? So there is nothing much 100% involvement of students when it comes to PO3. So as such, our course may not give that 80% or more than 75% accuracy for design or development of solution. But definitely more than 50%, 100%. More than 50% of our courses can support in attaining PO3. Right? Then coming to PO4, content investigation of complex problems. Being engineering program, mostly majority of the courses will definitely help the candidate to attain this PO. There is no big problem. At least 70% based on previous information we can be confident this PO also can be attained. See, one common thing, anything above 60% we can consider it is attained in this program. Less than 60% there is a gap where additional programs or additional events are to be conducted, when at least for the next batch this attainment can be adjusted. So less than 60% definitely it is of not much attained part, right? Then comes to modern tool usage, PO5. All courses support this PO5. If it is integrated with the lab, or if it is a practical oriented or project, such courses it will definitely attain. But imagine it is only a theoretical course. And as per R22 regulation, we have to use L based courses. Only lecturing happens and student has to write. So, do you think modern tool usage PO can be attained in such cases? Because in our R16 regulation, 60% of our courses are only theoretical courses. That means only 40% of courses have supported PO5. Right? But now if you take in our R22 regulation, 65% of courses are P-based, practice oriented or practice integrated. So definitely it will not be an issue for us. But for other regulations or for other programs or in other institutes, where this kind of nature is not there, and PO5 achieving is also a problem. See, if you see here, in the first slide, out of 5 POs, only 3 we are confident enough to say at least they are more than 60%. Rest, we are having a doubt whether they can be attained or not. So this is the actual scenario. Anywhere you see, it's not just Vignan or it's not just our engineering course. Mostly, majority, this is what happens. Next comes the actual bounces. The engineering society. How many of our courses do you think can attain this PO? 50%? 40? Less than? With Mokodi also you can answer, sir. Less than? 30? Okay, that is also exaggeration only, but still, I accept. 30%. That means, as I already told you, anything less than 60 is not attained. Right? So, first bouncer, PO6 gone. Next, environment and sustainability. Just because UGC is asking, we are having 1 credit environmental sciences. Right? If not, we will say that 1 credit is also required for our regular program. So, how far? 30%? 20? 20, because some courses might be having sustainability kind of aspects. Right? So, if sustainability aspect is there, we can tell this PO is attained. So, 20%. Okay, we can consider ethics. Big bouncer. Is it possible? Okay. 20%? 10? Okay. We'll go. Because we should not keep anything zero, right? So, at least some courses should help us. So, ethics, we can balance. Then, individual teamwork. Wherever there is a lab component, wherever there is a project, in all these kind of aspects, 100%. Yeah, I will go there, sir. When we go there, I will tell you. But as of, in general sense, okay, this is an attainable PO. Then comes by communication. In which other courses you can say communication is achieved? Okay, English course. Great. Next, project. Wherever there is a YOC, we can tell there is some extent. And anything else? Seminar. Earlier we used to have a seminar for credits. In that also, we can tell communication is attained. So now tell me, 50%? 60? 70? I am talking about previous regulations, not about future prospective regulation. 70. Okay, we'll go with madam. Okay, first time she has opened her mouth, so we'll go with 70% as madam said. Then comes the next PO, project management and finance. Project management and finance. Finance part, we don't know how much we can say, but at least project management, definitely in wherever projects are there, because we have a lot of projects, and even in lab to some extent, you cannot give 3, you can give 1, and somehow you can balance the project management and finance. What about lifelong learning? Actually, a lot of us are in confusion whether to give any mapping for this particular PO or not, right? Because if you see, an ability to engage in independent and lifelong learning in the broadest context of technological change. We can, that is what I am telling you. There is a lot of confusion, and with a lot of clarity we keep that one. Right? Okay, this is also somehow we can manage to attain. But if you see this whole 12 POs, at least for 5 to 6 POs we are confident enough, they will cross 60. Remaining around 50 to 30, and 1 or 2 will be less than 20, right? So this is the current scenario. That is why NBA asks us to conduct a lot of other programs. What kind of curriculum gaps you have? You conduct some seminars, you conduct some events in villages, you conduct, like this you conduct a lot of social activities. At least those remaining POs, you will be having a provision to make sure those are also attained. This is what happens, right? So whatever way, when you are whatever regulation you are following, you have to follow. Everybody will not have R22 like us, right? Where we can confidently say majority of our POs are attained, right? But generally, when you have a PO, as I already told you, they can be achieved only through your COs. So how do we write COs? How do we write COs? All we know is, in Google there is a table, action verbs for Bloom's taxonomy. We pick those statements, right? I just want small kind of information here. Earlier, we used to have Bloom's taxonomy. Currently, what we are following is revised Bloom's taxonomy. What is the difference? Only revision. The main difference between earlier Bloom's taxonomy and current Bloom's taxonomy is earlier Bloom's taxonomy is mostly about nouns. Since Sharada madam is sitting here, I came with the definition also. Right? So, earlier statement, it is a noun. That is nothing but noun is a word that is used to identify person, place, object or concept. But are we actually trying to attain or are we actually trying to measure any person, place, object or concept? And what are we trying or what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to go to the verbs, like is the word that is used to describe an action. What are we trying to do is whether our students are able to achieve these POs. So the action is being done. So based on